No.
In the remaining jungle of Borneo lives a tribe of nomadic hunter-gatherers. They're known for their survival skills and for the deadly poison they use on their blowpipe darts. The Panan. Bala is a semi-nomadic Panan tribesman. He's recently had to take shelter in a village when his forest was cut down. He's using a bamboo segment as a container to fill with the deadly tajem, the poison applied to the tips of his hunting darts. The tajem tree, or Antiaris toxicaria, grows up to 40 meters high. It's widespread all over South Asia and tropical Africa. In its raw form, the sap is deadly when it enters the bloodstream, causing lethal cardiac arrhythmia. But through a special refining process, the Panan make it even more powerful. It is then fatal in less than 2 minutes, depending on the size of the prey. Bala carefully cleans the residual deadly sap from his machete. Bala pours the harvested latex into a pot made of dried leaves. He's careful to heat it at just the right distance from the flame to avoid boiling the sap. The darts are then coated in the poisonous mixture, dried by the fire, and are ready to use. Richard is a sedentary Panan. He was born 10 years after his family was forced out of the jungle in the 90s. He works in a nearby national park. He's from one of the few villages that still has access to the untouched rainforest and reserve the right to practice traditional blowpipe hunting. They search for their favorite meat, the wild boar. It's become harder to find due to human activities around the border of the park. This squirrel got lucky. Richie has found some bamboo shoots. They'll provide a vegetarian meal for tonight. The rivers running through the national parks are clear and free of pollution from logging, which erodes the ground and makes the water muddy. The Panan can still practice fishing here. They use homemade spear guns. They also fish in swamps using bread. It only takes 3 seconds to catch a fish. Now it's my turn to try. Sardo palm tree. Saya and his kids are taking me to harvest its trunk. The Panan take great care not to damage the roots, so the palm will continue to thrive. The palm heart is typically made into a nutritious, non-perishable flour, but it's also eaten raw. In the few villages bordering reserved areas, the Panan have been offered jobs in the national parks, and they're allowed to hunt in untouched regions of rainforest. In tourist places like these, the government appears to have made an effort to build a brand new hospital. But as I'll learn later, nothing has been arranged for the Panan who've been forced to settle down in remote villages. Nyapun was one of the first Panan chiefs to be forced to settle down. He says he's probably 89 years old. The Panan used to live in the present. The canopy would hide the sky so they couldn't count moon phases or years. The spear attached to the end of his blowpipe is a reliable secondary weapon. Tribal wars are still in living memory, and encountering wild animals like giant pythons and sun bears could still be deadly. Nyapun's second wife plays nose flute. They live in this compound with their children and grandchildren.
May lahat na bilang may mga pasito lang, madalamin sito lang. Tapi pengaruh ni lakaw-lakaw tu, tuja na may pita sa luang pita na. Sakat ekonoman may tu uban. May adaw ka lakaw na, tuja na may uban may.
The older Penan folk suffer most from their lost nomadic lifestyle and struggle to adapt to life in the villages. Many suffer from depression or have lost their minds. I'm back with Bala. He shows me how to make Penan bark cloth. These were the traditional loincloths until cotton replaced them. This plant is used by the Penan to treat snake bites. It's one of the most useful medicinal plants in the jungle of Borneo, which is loaded with deadly snakes.
Iyo tenang aja, lebih iyo matai, lebih menarik awan matai.
Like you here, the economies, yes, this one also. Okay.
This same plant, generosity and courage, is a way of life. Their ingenuity and the elegant solutions they employ to thrive in some of the most challenging and complex environments must not be lost. All of humanity could benefit from Penan knowledge of plants and their understanding of nature. One day, the tables will turn, and the wealth of every country will be defined by the nature they hold. When that day comes, the last Penan families living in the wild may have left the rainforest.